Hey guys, so this is the final submission for game engine. Um, so we have worked on a animation converter, which basically takes the animations from an FBX file and export it with the bones and frames and everything. So I'm just gonna start with a frame bucket that I have used. There is a bone header. It has number of bones, and this is just a struct which has the name, index, and just a pointer. And then this is the animation data. It has the vector, translation, this rotation, and scaling vectors for the bone. And we are using a frame bucket. I've created an animation list which holds the specific bucket of frames, and then there's animation header. It tells us how many animation we have in here. So first we start with the display hierarchy. So I've created two functions which counts number of bones and the parent index, and this is an external function that I'm using right now. So we go through the list, we send the root node, it counts the number of child, and it gives the total number of bones in there. I create another parent index, so we give it the name of the parent itself, and it gives us the number or index at which the parent is located at. This is just a simple thing, this is pretty easy. So I'm just setting the first one as a root node, because we're using a different types of animation data. It's humanoid, it depends. Right now we're just looking for skeletons mostly, so that's why we have hard-coded it basically. So once the display hierarchy index that we're using to just count the number of bones and put them in an array, once it reaches the number of total bones, because there's some dummy nodes as well, once it reaches there, we just remove them from and we just don't move forward with those. So once we go through this, we just add the name and everything to the bone list, and the number of the parent index itself as well. Once this is done, then we go for display animation. This is where I'm still stuck at. I haven't fully able to play any of the human animations yet, but I'm able to get everything. I'm able to count the number of keyframes. We are able to get all the keyframes. Teddy I've been able to work with. We just write it to the file in this one, and then once we go into further and further, where we actually starts with the first animation and go into the first frame itself. That starts with the number of frames for each animation. So we go through this and we find the vectors and quaternions for our each bone itself. So I'm just printing it out as well to check if my data is correct or not, and then I'm writing that to the list. So this is the data that has no curves in there, so we just set it to 0 and scaling to 1. And this is the data which has which gives the curves and which has the data, so we write it at the top here, and then we write it to the file in this function. So that's how we are creating our display animations. Let me just run a quick run conversion command, which is having all the conversion for the clips. So when it does it, it creates the anim files. So if you look at those files, you'll be able to see how many animations there are. So this is for a humanoid. It has number of bones, and we're just printing out the bones and parents. And this is the keyframes and everything for those bones itself. And same thing for our teddy animation. Human and everything. So once we have that done, we have our game engine here, in which I have created just a playback engine first because I wasn't able to work with humanoid much. So I just took the data from my text file and I'm setting all the hierarchy using our anim file. Where is it? Right there. So you can take a look at here. So we're using our anim file for teddy animation, and we are setting everything in here. We're just creating game objects using that file. So we're just iterating through that and it's working fine. So I was able to get hierarchy for humanoids as well. So humanoid and teddy and everything else, the hierarchy is working, but the bone and frames, I tried a lot of different things, but somehow it doesn't work yet. So I'm still gonna work on it and see if I can fix it later on, but since it's the deadline, so let me just start with running this here, and we start the animation. So that's our teddy. We can like fast forward it, and like we can slow it down. We can just like do a negative, like move it backwards. And since I didn't have much animations, I just did a pause kind of, just ran a pause kind of animation where it just stops. So what it's basically doing is it's changing everything on here. This is an animation manager that I created, and it's the P key that we're using to move forward and O key to move backward, and the next current animation, which is for next animation. So